Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Ben. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to show you how to play Say So by Doja Cat. Throughout this video, I will show you a few things. I am going to show you how to play that high guitar part, which you hear throughout the song, which I'm sure you hear to learn. But if you just want to know how to play some chords and jam along to this song or do a cover on an acoustic guitar or something like that, I will show you how to play some simple chords as well. So at the beginning of the video, you heard me play some rhythm guitar. I'm going to show you those chords really quick. So the first chord is an E minor 7. You're going to bar the entire 7th fret with your first finger, except for the low E string. So your first finger is barring the 7th fret, your third finger is going to be on the 9th fret of the D string, on that B, and then our second finger is going to be on the 8th fret of the B string, on a G. If you're not super comfortable with bar chords like that, you can play E minor 7 just like this. So it's your regular E minor chord with your 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. The next chord is sort of an A7 sus4 or a G sus2 over A. If you want to play a simple way to play this chord, you can just literally play A7 sus4. So if you take your normal A chord, which is the open A string, and then the 2nd fret on the D, G, and B, and then you move your 4th finger up to the 3rd fret on the B string, and you just take your 3rd finger off. You can ring out the high E string as well. That would be probably the easier way to play it, but I like the sound of doing it like this. So it's the open A string again, but this time your 4th finger is going to be on the 5th fret of the D string, here on G. Our first finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the G string, on A, and then our second finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the B string, here on D. Again, you can ring out the high E if you want. And then the next chord is a D major 7. We are going to bar the entire 5th fret except for the low E string. And then our 3rd finger is going to be on the 7th fret of the D string on A. Our 2nd finger is going to be on the 6th fret of the G string on C sharp. And then our 4th finger is going to be on the 7th fret of the B string on F sharp. A way to do it as an open chord is just like this. You basically take your normal A major chord, but you move your fingers to the G, B, and E strings, and you only play the open D string, G, B, and E. Okay, so the first time around the chord progression, we play the E minor 7, the A7 sus4 or G sus2 over A, and then our D major 7 twice. And that sounds like this. Then the second time through, we do the same thing for the first 3 bars. We play our E minor 7, our A, our D major 7, but then we only do the D major 7 for 1 bar, and then we go to a B7 sus4 to a B7. We're going to bar the entire 2nd fret with our first finger, except for the low E. Our 3rd finger is going to go on the 4th fret of the D string, and then our 4th finger is going to go on the 5th fret of the B string. And then we resolve it to a B7, and all we do for that is move our 4th finger down to the 4th fret of the B string. So that second time through sounds like this. And if you want an open chord version of B7, you can just play 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the D string, 4th finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, open B string, and then 4th finger on the 2nd fret of the high E string, and not playing the low E. Alright, now that we've got the chords out of the way, let's get to the triads, the high part, the part that's actually in the song, which I'm sure you're here to learn. Okay, so for this part, we're only going to be using the G, B, and E strings, playing triads, which are just 3-note chords. The first one is like a D major, but starting up on the 7th fret. So G string 7th fret, B string 8th fret, and E string 7th fret. Right, looks like a D major. But up here, I actually like to bar the 7th fret with my first finger and then play with my 3rd finger on that 8th fret of the B string. The reason I do that is because it allows me to use my 2nd finger to mute some of the other strings so that I'm not accidentally hitting open strings. Using your fingers to mute while you play is something that can be a little bit tricky, so don't get too worried about it at first. It will come over time as you work at it and as you get more and more experience on the guitar. So that's the first chord. That's actually a G major triad, but in context of the song, with an E on its bass, it creates an E minor 7. Then the next chord, we're going to move down to into this shape here. We have our third finger on the 7th fret of the G string, our 4th finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and then our 1st finger on the 5th fret of the high E. That chord there is a G sus2. And then for the first time around, we're gonna play this chord here for 2 bars over the D major 7. We have our 2nd finger on the 6th fret of the G string, our 4th finger on the 7th fret of the B string, and our 1st finger on the 5th fret of the high E. This by itself is actually an F sharp minor triad, but again, in context with the song, with the D on its bass, it creates a D major 7. Okay, now that's the first time through. And the second time through, it changes just at the end. So we do this. And then we go. So for that first chord there, I'm barring the B and the E strings on the 7th fret with my 1st finger. And then my 4th finger is going on the 9th fret of the G string. And then we'll take our 3rd finger off and replace it with our 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the G string. So you're going from a B sus4 and resolving to a B. Okay, now that you know the chords, the next thing is working out the rhythm. You'll notice that the way that I kind of play it is a little bit more sort of funky and exaggerated. I'm doing a lot of ghost notes and things like that. But have a listen to the song, and it's actually quite a simple part with the rhythm that is being played. But yeah, that is How to Play Say So by Doja Cat. Thanks for checking this out. Hope it helped. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell, and check me out on Instagram at @thebenmneil. I have been participating in a 40-day creative challenge with some of my friends. Basically, I am making something and posting it every single day, mostly guitar related. It's actually a little bit harder than you would kind of expect. It's been a bit harder than what I thought it would be to actually make something and post it every single day. Go and check it out if you're interested in hearing a new guitar song, piece of music, original, one every single day at the moment anyway. Thanks for checking this out. I'll see you in the next one.